Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus 7-Day Challenge, and today we have Late to the Party, coming out later in life. This is an ABC News Studios documentary. It's only about 43 minutes long. It says one season, and there's only one episode. Okay, it's 42 minutes long. It is just a documentary talking about people who have come out of the closet, revealed themselves to be gay later in life, gay, lesbian, bisexual, and just everything that comes with it when it comes to making that discovery in some cases, and some cases knowing it for so long and hiding it, and then getting to the point where it will have a tremendous impact, not just on their family, themselves, as of course, but their family, their community, where they work, and even in their church. This is hosted by Charles M. Blow, and he's with ABC. I believe he's a journalist, so he actually came out later in life. So he's extremely qualified to be able to talk to a number of these people, some of which will surprise you. There's one of the people he talks to first is a bishop, a minister, a Baptist minister, who down in the South, who has spent his entire life leading congregations in prayer, worship, praise, and when suddenly his son came out, it realized that he and his wife had to come to terms to understanding of what this means. Do they, because of what they believe their faith to say, what they believe their faith says about their life, with that lifestyle. It's more than just a lifestyle, but it's to understand who they are as a person and who their son is. Do they just cut all ties, condemn, or do they understand? Do they love? And through this process, his father suddenly came to a realization of the same situation, and he was something like in his 50s or 60s. Yeah. And by the way, that's not the oldest person in this whole documentary. We talked to a guy. Well, Charles talks to a guy who was in the military, and he served his country, and he was active throughout his entire career, and at a time when you could not be, well, that's pretty much history, the entire history of the military, the American military, you couldn't be gay. And he hit it. Married, had 3 or 4 kids, and during the 90s, during that whole don't ask, don't tell thing, and the repeal of it just, things changed for him. And we get to see him talk about how it affected his marriage. Obviously, it's done. And also how it affected his relationship with his children, which he did not want to lose. We have another young woman who is she's 52. I should say that's not young, but that's not old either. But when it comes to coming out of the closet, well, it's a little after the average these days. She is, she's a mother, a wife, and she talks about how she basically revealed these things, and how her husband handled it. And if there's any regrets, there's always a question: is, do you wish you would have come out sooner? And almost invariably, it's always yes. But there's always fear. There's always fear of not being accepted. And that's what people want. Regardless of who you love, you want to be loved. You want to be accepted for who you are. And in some cases, we believe that no matter who you are, no matter who you love, we as human beings believe that we're not worthy of that love, or that we don't deserve it. Another gentleman has dealt with the idea of, well, he also had a family, and when he had a secret life and accidentally outed himself on Instagram, it shared it from one of his secret Instagram account to his more public his gay one to his straight one, and yeah, that kind of messed things up. But he also he was HIV positive. Is HIV positive. We get to see what it looks like. By the way, he gets involved with here in Los Angeles with a senior prom, literally where people are senior citizens and getting to go to prom for the first time with the person they love, with or just going out on that big momentous date and not having to hide it, as would have been the case for anybody prior to the modern generation, where we find out that the average age of coming out these days is 19. A lot of kids, thankfully, there's still so many young people, and I know I sound like an old person by calling them young people, are unafraid. They know their worth. They know that they are loved, thankfully, and that it's not a crime. The man coming out publicly as gay isn't going to get sterilized, imprisoned, and more, as was the case with one man that Charles interviewed who came out when he was 90. Yeah. He had a secret romance with Philip, I think his name was. And he had to hide it. Here in I think it was Long Beach. Yeah, here in Los Angeles area. At a time when if you were even seen holding hands, you'd be incarcerated and you'd be sterilized. More than 20,000 people, gay men, had been sterilized for the crime of being gay in liberal California. Well, it wasn't necessarily always so liberal. So yeah, we get to see people finally getting to live their lives as who they are through this brief glimpse at many different scenarios, and it's worthwhile checking out. If you don't understand the whole thing with being gay or coming out of the closet, or you're struggling with this kind of thing yourself, know that you don't have to hide. And even though if you feel that you're in a situation where your family or your community or where you are in the world, where you feel you cannot be who you are openly, do your best to see if you can find like-minded people that can show you that you are worth being loved for who you are. And that's all anybody really ever asks for, and it can be found. So definitely check this out. Whether you're curious, or this is somebody, I know a guy I graduated with. He had a wife, kids, at least one kid, and found out years later that he's my age. So he came out, I think, in his 40s. Yeah. It's not been too long, and he's living the life he's always meant to live, and that's fantastic for him. So, at the risk of sounding preachy, don't be afraid of who you are, even if it's not your time to come out yet. Hopefully, you can find a place and find people that will let you be who you are without fear. So, check it out when you get a chance. But yeah, it can open your eyes to how a lot of people had struggled with such things for nearly a century. So let's pick tomorrow's episode. 122, way down at the bottom. 122. Oh, okay. This is yet another documentary, but it's very different from this one. It is actually a single episode, and it's one of the older ones, one of the older Disney documentaries. It's a nature documentary. This one is Yellowstone Cubs. So, yeah, I saw this recently, the image, and so that's why I realized I know that it's an older documentary. Yellowstone Cubs is what we're watching next in the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.